Welcome to Goddess Temple Sunday. I am Abiola, and I'm so glad that you are here. Welcome, 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 welcome. If you want to join me live, I'm live Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and Instagram with a replay immediately after on YouTube. I'm working on getting us live on YouTube at the same time, but this internet right now won't let me be great. So although I am paying for the highest level internet in my neighborhood so that I can be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, right now it's YouTube, live on YouTube and Instagram with a replay live on Facebook and Instagram with a replay afterward on YouTube. And of course on the podcast. Yes, the goddesses are gathering. Hello, Goddess Janice. Hello, Goddess Damali. Hello, Goddess Katie Pieros. Oh, that's my girl, Katie. What's up? Hello, Goddess, Freedom Mind. Yes, Brina the Goddess. The lovely B. Gray, Goddess Frederica, yes, Goddess Denise, hey, cuz, yes, goddesses are here. Hello, Goddess Norma. All right, so we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump in. Yes, Mandingo 1680 is in the house. What's that about, ladies? Instagram, go check it out. Today we are talking about forgiveness. This keeps on coming up, and we're going into the holiday season globally where you may have to sit across the table some point with some people that you have some energy with. And so we need to talk about forgiveness. We need to talk about whether you even need to be sitting across from the table with those people or not. We need to talk about what is healthy for you when it comes to forgiveness and what forgiveness means in your life. It means something completely different to each and every one of us. And when I initially promised that we were going to talk about forgiveness, it was about 4 weeks ago, or maybe about 5 weeks ago. And then the week after, when we were supposed to talk about forgiveness, what happened in between was the trial of the woman who, I'm not going to say her name, the police officer who went into Botham Jean's home and killed him because she was at the wrong door. And the trial happened where his brother, Brant Jean, who's 18, only 18, a teenager, hugged this woman at the trial, at her sentencing, and it was triggering for a lot of people, including me. So it was not, I felt like, a good time at that point to talk about forgiveness, because it was not a place that I was in. His healing and his journey is not anyone else's journey. That's between him, his Christ, his brother, and his own life. And so we want to talk today about what forgiveness means for you. Hello, Tony. Hello, Goddess Ashante. Oh, wow. Tony says, I was just talking about this last night. That's beautiful, Goddess Tony. Hello, Goddess Keisha. Goddess Keisha and I have spoken privately and extensively. She's one of my clients, about forgiveness and what it could mean or couldn't mean, what it looks like. Hello, Goddess Sharice. Hello, Goddess. Yay, Goddess Samantha's in the house, and Goddess Kendall. So let's get into some gratitude, and then let's talk about to forgive or not to forgive. That is the question, and whether it means that just because you forgave that you need to now be at a turkey dinner sitting there looking at each other cross-eyed like this. And is that forgiveness at all? Hello, Goddess Tanisha. All right, let's just take a deep breath. Let the energy of the world just fall away from you and just be present here now. Call all parts of yourself back to yourself, and let's just be here now. Take the hand of the goddess to the left of you. Hello, goddess. Take the hand of the goddess to the right of you. Oh, hello, beautiful goddess. And we begin with Mother, Father, God. Thank you so very much for bringing us together in this sacred healing sisterhood circle today. Thank you so very much in this big, beautiful world that you have gifted us with opening our eyes for another beautiful day. Thank you for just reminding us that we are not alone on this journey, that we have each other, and that we have you. We are so grateful and so appreciative for knowing how wonderful we are, how great we are, how special we are, because you chose us. You chose us today for another day, for another breath and another moment. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we choose you. Please continue to guide us, guide our words, our thoughts, and our actions. And as always, I ask you please to continue to guide me and keep me on the path that you need me to be. I ask you, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? In your name, we say, amen, ashe, and ooh, so it is, goddesses. Are you receiving that today? Are you receiving your greatness today? Are you receiving your ability and your chance to have another magnificent moment on this beautiful planet today? Are you in love with the idea that you woke up and you have breath, and so you were chosen by your Creator for another moment to fulfill your purpose, to stand in your power, to stand in your greatness, to stand in your truth, to tell your story and be your magnificent self? Like, that is a blessing. Let's just feel that. Oh, let's just feel into that blessing. Oh, yes. Oh. Which is the perfect energy and the perfect place to begin a discussion about forgiveness, to begin a discussion. Yes, Enchantress Shane, grace, truth, and love, to forgive, to figure out, to forgive or not to forgive, and what that means. So first, I want to just give a bit of love to, I see a few of my amazing spiritpreneur clients who are doing great things in the world. Enchantress Shane just had an incredible one-woman show, and I know it was incredible, although I couldn't be there, because she's in it and because she has been stepping toward it. Goddess Keisha has been opening doors and making things happen. Goddess Samantha has been summoning in her power from every corner of the globe. And with all of them, those who I know, Goddess Janice, every single one of us is very interesting. We have had conversations on various levels about forgiveness and what it means. And the reason is that there are so many blocks and challenges that we have that show up as other things that really are issues of forgiveness. Now, a lot of them are issues about forgiving the self, and we'll talk about that next week, because that's a completely different conversation. Okay, so when it comes to forgive or not to forgive, and we're talking about yourself, the answer is yes. The answer is always yes. The answer when it comes to should you forgive, should you free yourself? Yes. So we made that easy, but we'll go deeper into it next week. Yes. And as a matter of fact, hit the share button, bless your timeline, sprinkle some magic and some fairy dust and some beautiful energy on your timeline. Okay? Yes? Yes. Okay. But forgiveness, when we're talking about other people, we're now involving their personalities, our personalities, and perceived slights that may be on the scale from, very small in the scheme of things, because nothing is small within the way we experience it in our bodies and our minds. There are things that we can remember, things that somebody may have said to us in childhood that you could say, in the grand scheme of things, that's little, but it's not within your body, your mind, and your spirit. And then there are things that are huge, that are insurmountable, that are violations of our body and our personhood. And so if you, like your family, like mine, has like so many different layers and people and personalities that you're dealing with, that it's not so simple to just say, oh, forgive them or shrug it off, or sticks and stones may break your bones, or whatever it is. It's not that simple. And I believe that there's a spiritual tyranny, yes, I said tyranny, that happens in conversations of forgiveness, where forgiveness becomes almost a performance, a moment. Like, we've seen those moments on TV a lot, like where people hug and they kiss, or, we're watching whatever it is show where it wraps up a situation in an hour that took years to build. And then afterwards you see the comment, and it's like, oh, now they never spoke to each other again, or whatever it is. And so I don't think that it is healthy for us. I don't think that it is meant for us to just wrap whatever it is that we have experienced at the hands of another, perceived or not, in a big, fun, friendly bow and say all is forgiven. Because we feel whatever we are feeling, we feel it in our soul, we feel it in our gut, we feel it in every chakra and corpuscle. And forgiveness is a gift that we need to give to ourselves. We need to give forgiveness to ourselves, to free ourselves. And I am speaking to you as somebody who, in my full Leo form, who loves way hard, who is fully in with you, ride or die, let's roll until we not. Until we not. And then I'm like, I don't know who you are. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't recall. I never heard of them. You are blocked. You are removed. You are dead to me. Like, that is my emotional makeup. That is my psychological makeup. That is my inheritance of a family that holds serious grudges, y'all, like for real, like patterns and pathologies, grudges for generations, where there are very like layered different versions of the names if you go back searching birth certificates, because people got mad, brothers got mad at each other and changed the name and took out an initial and never spoke to each other again. And so, of course, I learned from people who learned from those people who learned from those people, that was the way to deal with issues and deal with challenges. And so you want to be aware. Yes, my cousin Goddess Denise said facts. Yes. So you want to be aware of the people also who you love, like just in having conversations, just being aware of what kinds of conversations you're having with them around forgiveness and around whatever challenges you're having, and knowing just where they're coming from and what their pathology may be. Because the people that we love who have the same patterns and pathologies, I just realized I don't even have on my microphone. Sorry, y'all, if you couldn't hear me. But, have the same pathologies and issues. So I'll give y'all an example. I have a friend, an associate, somebody I'm cool with, somebody I like, who she said to me, she asked me something that I felt like was very inappropriate and very invasive and very offensive. She's from a different culture, and what she said to me was very offensive to me. So I spoke to my sister about it, and of course my sister has the same pathologies that I do, and my pattern is, listen to what she said to me. She said such and such and such, blah, 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 blah. So obviously I can never speak to her ever again. And so, of course, my beautiful sister, who is a spiritual teacher and a healer herself, was like, yeah, you can't speak to her again. And, after that conversation, and my sister realizing also, like, okay, well, no, you have to, now we got to make a different choice. Goddess Sandra says, me too. Goddess Kim Renee says, facts. Goddess Tony says, I say, yes, 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 absolutely. Absolutely. So a lot of the people that we love may have the same energetic bond that we have with, just our stuff and our burdens and our issues. And so step number one, when it comes to trying to even figure out whether you need to forgive someone, whether it is healthy for you, whether it is well for you to do that so that you're not falling into a pattern of tyrannizing yourself or beating yourself up or wondering why it doesn't wrap up like an episode of Yama Fix My Life or Dr. Phil or something like that, is to feel your feelings. Step number one, if there is somebody who maybe you're going to see over the holidays, or maybe you've already cut them off and you don't see them, or whatever it is, who you have in your family. And I also want to say, because I know what a lot of you are dealing with, that although ideally in an ideal situation, you should, honor certain members of your family, your mother, your father, whomever, and we're taught that, and that is ingrained in us. You can honor somebody without them having a front seat in your life if it is not healthy for you. And so you have full permission in this world. If a person, be they a parent, be they a sibling, be they a well-meaning aunt, uncle, grandma, cousin, friend, whoever, you are fully within your right to honor them from afar, to honor them in a way that honors you. Okay? Because you cannot be in service to whatever it is that you came to this world to be in service to if you are bound up or wrapped up in a relationship, whether again it is with a parent, a cousin, a sister, a brother, whomever, that is unhealthy for you. And so give yourself permission to choose only healthy bonds and connections. Put that in the comments. I give myself permission to have only healthy bonds and connections. I give myself permission to have only healthy bonds and connections. Okay? And so you could love a parent with all of your soul. You could love a sibling, or someone who you grew up with who is like a sibling, but it doesn't mean that you need to be chilling with them watching Goddess Temple Sunday together. You can send them a link if you want, if that's healthy for you, but it doesn't mean that you need to have, whatever you celebrate, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, whatever. It doesn't mean that you need to have holidays with them. It doesn't mean that you need to be there with them. I give myself permission to have only healthy bonds and connections. Give yourself that permission. That is honoring. It is more honoring for you to distance yourself in a way and then figure out what healthy bonds mean, what healthy boundaries mean from a parent or a loved one, than for you to be wrapped up with them in patterns and pathologies that are further damaging and traumatizing to you. Okay? Because I can tell you that one thing from coming from a big family, is that, of course, because each of my parents have 7 to 10 siblings, and they have a lot of children. So I have a lot of first cousins. I have a lot of, we don't use the term second cousins in my family, but I have a lot of cousins, period, aunts, uncles, people like, just people that, of course, there's a range of personalities. So they're beautiful people, and they're people that if I never saw them again, I would be just fine. I would be peachy keen. And so for me, it took me a very long time, and it's still something that I'm still unpacking, and even figuring out how to process when people have hurt me. Because if your primal relationships were relationships that you couldn't trust, where adults maybe were saying things that were inappropriate or hurtful to you, and you didn't have the means to process it at the time, then as an adult, it may take you a while. Like it takes me a while sometimes to realize, like, that wasn't cool. Like I'll be in the situation, and I, all honor and love to people who can quickly like come back and have conversation and banter. Like it takes me a while to process, and then later on be like, I didn't like that. Like that didn't feel good in my body when that person said or did that thing, and that is okay. If it takes you longer to process, to be able to just do it on your own time. Like, you don't have to, you're not a cartoon figure or, a Real Housewife or anything. Or if you are a Real Housewife and you're watching, shout out Real Housewife, whatever. But you're not a person that has to be in this situation coming back with, immediate solutions and ways to deal with things. So number one, give yourself permission to feel your feelings and to face them. And so write down, I'm going to give you journal questions. Write down, number one, being angry at such and such, or being sad about such and such, whatever whatever the slight, the issue, the challenge for you reads in your body. Okay. When you scan your body, and you think about a person that you are not in forgiveness with, in a state of unforgiveness, how do you feel? Do you feel sad? Do you feel angry? Do you feel resentment? Do you feel rage? What do you feel? Do you feel indifferent? As if you're a person that hasn't learned how to feel your feelings, you may feel indifference and it may hit your body differently. How do you feel? And then write it down. Being whatever it is, being hurt, sad, angry, resentful, whatever, toward X, whoever the person is, makes me feel blank. How does it make you feel? And you want to deal with this whether the person is here or not, because you could have a lot of stuff that's a lot bound up, with somebody. And they could have passed on and moved, transitioned, and they are, in another sphere. They've crossed over, they've passed on, and you're still here left with the anger, the resentment, and all of that is eating away at you, that is blocking you from every blessing that you are meant to have. So feeling this, so you want to journal it again, being angry, hurt, sad, whatever you feel, being blank at blank makes me feel blank. All right. Goddess Denise said, I used to feel bad that I had to do that with some of our family, but it was the best thing for me. Oh my God. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, it is so freeing when you finally say, you know what? No more. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. No, thanks. It is very freeing. So then number two, I want you to imagine what a future looks like. Just visualize. Okay, a future looks like not being bound to this person. Yes, because you are bound to this person, whether it happened 100 years ago or it happened yesterday, whether it was at the level of a molestation or whether it was on something that we would perceive to be more superficial, like, oh, they, I don't know, stole your boyfriend when you were in 7th grade or something like that. Imagine a future of you not being bound to this person, because right now you are bound to them. You are chained to them. You are wrapped up with them. You are in relationship with anyone that you have not forgiven. Ooh, that's something to face and deal with, right? That right now you are in a relationship. You are in a bond. You can type that into the comments. I am bonded to anyone that I have not forgiven. Oh, that puts a different perspective and a different energy on it. I am bonded to anyone that I have not forgiven. And so imagine a present and a future of you not being bonded to this person. Goddess Denise said, wow. Yeah, it's a big wow. And these slights that, someone else that we may look at on a surface and be like, oh, well, that's a small thing. It's not a small thing. If it's not a small thing to you, it's not a small thing. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of it. Doesn't matter if other people say, shake it off. Whatever it feels to you in your body is real. Type that in the comments. Whatever it feels to me in my body is real. Whatever it feels to me is real. Whatever it feels to me is real. Whatever it feels like to me is real. Yes, we are bonded to anyone that we have not forgiven. So now it gives a little bit of different spin and a different thought on whether or not we want to forgive. Because it's like, imagine that person and you are carrying them like a backpack. You are carrying them and their energy like a weight. And you got stuff to do. You have major things that you need to do in this world. We talked about when we did our gratitude that you were woken up today. So you have work to do. Your mission is not complete. And the blocks that you are experiencing may be because you are holding up this person, holding up this journey, holding up this experience, holding up this hurt, holding up this pain, holding up this slight, holding this person and carrying them around, carrying the experience around, carrying the hurt around. And so then that hurt person, that hurt is what we are then bringing to our every interaction. And so then when we have, a friend, 20 years later say something to us that is inappropriate only because they just don't know. They don't have the same boundaries. They don't have the same experiences in the world. So we have a friend that says something that feels like, okay, that wasn't cool. And so then if you're me and your reaction is, you're dead to me, it's because I'm not reacting to that friend that said something that was wrong. I'm reacting to that aunt that said something hurtful when I was 8 years old. I'm reacting to that feeling of feeling unsafe and unprotected within my family. And so whether or not that friend needs, that's a separate issue, whether or not that friend, is worthy and deserving of your forgiveness or continuing the relationship or whatever it is. But you first have to heal that primal wound that you are bonded to, that you're carrying. Like imagine like all those folks that you may be carrying on your back, the slights, the fights, the injustices. And again, if it is real, if it's real to you, if you are feeling it and it's real, it's real. It's real. It's not a shrug it off sort of thing. If you could have shrugged it off, you would have. If you could have, just been like, whatever, sticks and stones or whatever, you would have. But it's still there and you're still carrying it around, okay? So again, number 2, you're going to imagine a future of, okay, if I laid this person down, laid this burden down by the riverside, if I just put this down, what would it feel like? Like, what could it mean? What could it look like if I wasn't carrying that? Goddess Janet says, wow, I didn't realize I was carrying their hurt on my back, but I can see that now. Yes. And so what would it look like? What would it look like if you freed yourself? That is not about freeing them. Yeah, it may free them, and that's great, and that's beautiful. But it's about freeing you, freeing yourself. Yes, Goddess Denise, she said the forgiveness I need, yes, is to give to myself. Yes. And so giving yourself the gift of that, what would that look like? So then you want to write number 2A, and I'll put a worksheet at womanifesting.com/forgiveness. Womanifesting, that's my website, womanifesting, like manifesting, but womanifesting.com/forgiveness. I'll make a worksheet to make this easier and put it there. Okay, so if I forgave such and such, I would feel, so what would you feel? So now that you visualize what it could look like, if I forgave them, what would I feel? And again, I'm not about tyranny of, spiritual tyranny. Maybe you write, if I forgave them, I would feel slighted because you've been carrying it so long. If I forgave them, I would feel like I was letting them off the hook, right? Or maybe it's so ingrained in such a part of you. If I forgave them, I would feel like I was losing a part of myself. Or if I forgave them, I would feel unsafe. Or it could be, if I forgave them, I would feel free. Oh, what does that feel like? If I forgave them, I would feel released. If I forgave them, I would feel more like myself. If I forgave them, I would feel more present. If I forgave them, I would feel more powerful. What would you really feel if you forgave them. And again, this takes some practice, because a lot of us, again, if you have patterns of abandonment, if you have patterns of betrayal, if you have patterns of feeling unsafe in any way, shape, or form, then sometimes it just may take a little bit longer to figure out, what do I feel? What would I feel? So if I forgave them, if I released them, if I took them off my back, what would I feel? What would I feel? Goddess Denise says freedom. Yes. Hello, Goddess Joylene. Yes. Yes. Whatever, again, whatever it feels like to you is real. Okay. So then you ask yourself, number 3, do I choose to forgive and release? Do I choose it? Because now you have a choice. It's your choice, your body, your choice, your life, your choice. Write that down. My life, my choice. My life, my choice. My life, my choice. Okay? My life, yes, my choice. So do I now choose to forgive and release them? And maybe the answer is no. Maybe you're not there yet. And so maybe then you put this away and you come back and you watch it again another week or tomorrow or later today or next year. Do I now choose to forgive and release them? Do I choose to get them off my back? Do I choose to release this burden and free myself to think about other things, to create other things, to attract other things? Do I forgive them? And if so, then ask yourself, if the answer is no, ask yourself, well, not forgiving them feels like what? And it may feel like power. If you felt like you have not been in your power in the situation, not forgiving them may feel like, that's my only power. That's the only way that I can feel powerful. Not forgiving them feels empowering. Or if you say not forgiving them feels uncomfortable, or like I'm still carrying a weight, then go back and go through it again. Ask yourself again, do I now choose to forgive and release? Okay. Do I now choose to forgive and release? And if the answer is yes, because it is your life and it is your choice, if the answer is yes, then write a letter that you need never send. Again, they may not even be on this planet anymore. Write a letter to them explaining what you have experienced, what you feel, what your experience has been, and that you are choosing in your life for your reasons to forgive and to release them. For you. That I now choose not to be bound up with you in this. I choose now to release you. I choose now to free myself and to free you by forgiving you. I choose not to be wrapped up in your energy and in this journey with you anymore. Your life, your choice. Goddess Kim Renee says, I've been choosing to forgive and release over this past year, still have more layers to go. Blessings on that beautiful journey. Yes, yes. Goddess Self-Love Brings Happiness, beautiful name, says, how do you work through feelings of indifference to begin to feel again? That's a whole process. Okay, so I'll do a video 1 week completely on that, because that is a beautiful question. How do you work through feelings of indifference to begin to feel again? Because so many of us are hardened, have hardened energy, have hardened, barriers that we've built up inside of ourselves for our own safety that we cannot feel. And our culture supports that. Our culture says, don't care, don't give a F, all of that. But it's unhealthy for you. So thank you, Goddess, for asking that question. We will definitely address that on a future Goddess Temple Sunday. Goddess Tony says, I feel that forgiveness for me is so selfish. Oh, my beautiful love. Oh, let's just breathe into that. Let's breathe into that. Because so many of us have thought and been taught that anything that is for us is selfish. And so my question to you would be, what if it is selfish? In the way that it is self-centered, in the way that it is centering the self, in the way that it is centering your God self, the power within you to lift yourself up, to put yourself on a pedestal, to honor who it is and honor your journey. What if it is selfish in that way? That it is the best gift that you could give for yourself so that you can show up in your fullness and in your gifts and be who you are meant to be. What does that mean? What if it is? Goddess Norma says, forgiveness frees and releases my spirit. Goddess Sherry says, tears, tears, tears. Yes, Goddess Sherry. And so then the last step that you want to do after you write this letter to them is that you want to do an energetic cord cutting, because you have been bound up with them. You have been carrying them. You have been walking around with them as a burden on your life and your heart. You may have a lot of people and a lot of layers to go through. And so do this with each and every person on the journey. You may have a lot of people that you need to forgive and release, you know? And so do this with each and every situation. And so an energetic cord cutting is realizing that, again, that we're attached to each person that we are having an experience with. And some may be smaller attachments, some may be big. Like imagine like cords that could be small little cords and cords that could be like tree trunks. And so what is your attachment to this person is the level of your attachment to this situation, the level of your attachment to remaining stuck in whatever the situation is. Life is never stuck. Life is changing every second. You're already different than you were at the beginning of this conversation, but a lot of us just keep changing it back to the same thing, so it feels like we're stuck. So an energetic cord cutting, I'm just going to do a very brief one here, but you can find it at womanifesting.com on my site, or Google or search on YouTube Abiola and cord cutting, and you'll find a deeper one, a process that you can go through, and I'll do a new one as well. But basically what you do is just imagine the person across from you and see the cords that are binding you to them, again, however thick or thin they are. And now just call on your guides, whoever is guiding you. Call on your ancestors. Call on your archangels. If that's a belief that you have, you can call on Archangel Michael, Raphael. And you say, you know, again, to your high ascended masters, you know, whatever it is that you believe, Jesus, God, whatever your belief system is. And you say, please free me from any bond that is not serving me. Please remove from my life and my energy any bond that is not holding me to my highest good. I now choose to free myself and to release myself from any bond that is keeping me in bondage. I now free and release this person to go on and be who they are, to live their life, to have their own existence. And that while you're saying that, I want you to see the bonds between them and you being released. See yourself being freed. See each bond being cut. You can see your angels, your ancestors, your guides, your ascended masters coming in and freeing you, cutting that energy, whether it's physically cutting it with a scissors, whether it's just dissolving it, just putting the energy and just dissolving those bonds. And just breathe into that. Just breathe into that and then start to give thanks. Thank you so much for freeing me from this bond that no longer served me. Thank you so much for holding me in a space where I am allowing in only healthy and freeing energy. Thank you so much for keeping me connected only to the source, only to the highest power, only to all that is meant to heal me, to free me. Thank you so much for keeping me in a place where I am only attracting my highest good. Thank you so much for freeing me from this bond. And then you just take a deep breath and let it out. And you may need to write another letter. You may choose to send the letter. Whatever you choose to do next is up to you. You may need to do the process again a few times to clear and release yourself. And then just affirm it. It is done. I am free and it is done. Type that in the comments. I am free and it is done. I am free and it is done. It's no longer about them. It's not about them at all. It's about you. And then if you do want to sit across from them at a turkey dinner, do. If you don't. It is all about what is serving you and your life the best. Okay, what is going to allow you to show up as your biggest, brightest, shiniest, most amazing self? I am free and it is done. I am free and it is done. I am free and it is done. You can go have a party. You can sit there across from them at Thanksgiving now, and they're saying whatever crazy things are coming out of their mouth. And you're like, just sitting there smiling and just feeling the jubilation because you know, I am free and it is done. Pass the cranberry sauce. I am free and it is done. You want some gravy? Because I am free and it is done. Or your I am free and it is done may be like mine. I am free and it is done, and I don't ever have to see you again. Deuces. But if I happen to run into you over a gravy bowl, I am free and it is done. And if when you get into the situation, you realize that, oh, this is still energetically active for me, it's okay. Excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, and just do the cord cutting again. Excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, do the cord cutting again, and come on back. I am free and it is done. Goddess Sandra says, I definitely need to be more energetically selfish. Yes. Goddess Norma says, I am free and it is done. Goddess Sherry says, I am free and it is done. Goddess Kim Renee says, I am free and it is done. Goddess Damali says, I am free and it is done. Goddess Tony says, that was out of the world amazing. I am free and it is done. Selah, yes, I am free and it is done. We are free and it is done. You're welcome, Goddess Denise. You're welcome. Self-love brings happiness. We are free and it is done. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. And I want to ask you and invite you, if you have not subscribed to me on YouTube, please go subscribe to my YouTube, because I think I'm at 19,600 subscribers or something like that. And I want to have 20,000 when we get to 2020 so I can do something special and have a celebration. So go subscribe on youtube.com/planetAbiola. All right? We are free and it is done. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. Have a beautiful week, goddesses. Namaste.